I know your foot is hurting, but don't be jumping around. Because the plan was like the first 2 rounds that you see, just take a step back, make a miss, and counter. Keep him away with a jab. Jab. As soon as Manny jumped in, just stay back, slide back a little bit, and counter. But once his foot got hurt, couldn't do it. So we had to make adjustments. And like I said from the beginning, Timothy makes adjustments. Manny doesn't. When Manny starts doing this, he's frustrated. We frustrated him, and that was my strategy. We frustrate him first, and then we attack.
Yes. And from that point on, what were Tim's thoughts, and what were your thoughts of, okay, my foot is hurt, what am I going to do now? And how did he implement what the changes were?
See, the changes after the second round were this. I was very careful on him. I said, due to the fact that his foot is hurt, I don't want him to get in there with Manny and take a beating. I don't want my fighter to get hurt in there. It was my concern for his safety. But I seen that he was managing to move his foot even though he was hurting, and making Manny miss a lot of punches. Every time Manny threw furies of punches, Timothy was low, and he was making him miss a lot. I mean, honestly, Manny Pacquiao caught Timothy a few times with solid punches, and he did hurt him. Timothy managed to stand his feet, but Timothy's effect on his punches and effect on his footwork, and to follow 100% the strategy, he couldn't, because both of his feet were hurt, because he hurt his left foot in his 5th round.
As the fight was going along, did you feel that he was winning the fight? It was a very close fight. He was losing the fight. What were your feelings as the fight was progressing into the late rounds?
You know what? In the last 2 rounds, I told Tim he had to attack. As you can see, I mean, I know Manny Pacquiao. I've been following Manny Pacquiao for years. Manny Pacquiao, when you hear the 10-second, he attacks to win the round. I mean, and the judges, that's what they see. That's why I told Tim, when you hear that sound of the 10 seconds, he's going to attack you, and he tried. He tried in the earlier rounds, but Timothy stopped him with a jab and his footwork, so he couldn't do it. In the last 2 rounds, I told him, Tim, you have to close strong. I mean, you're already in the last rounds of the fight. I kept Timothy alive round by round after the 5th round. I told him in the 5th round, I know you got pain on your foot, but you can manage to move. Okay, you're a warrior. Just finish this fucking fight. And he kept going. I seen him that he was okay. He wasn't getting hurt to the point in which I was gonna step in there and stop the fight. But I was at a point, I was there ready to stop the fight if I see my fighter get hurt at one point. But he was always managing, to move around and dominate. Because everybody expects to see a Manny Pacquiao tear somebody's head off like he always does, and he couldn't do it with Timothy today. Come on, and let's give this guy some credit.
One of the interesting things that I noticed, and I've been to all of Manny's fights, and I've seen most of Tim's fights. I haven't seen him fight live that often, but I've seen virtually all of Manny's fights the last 7 years. What Manny does so well is he wears you down, and those last 3 rounds is when he finishes you off. That wasn't the case tonight.
He was wore out. Watch the fight. Manny Pacquiao, his mouth was open. I think it was in the 6th round, and I noticed he was fatigued. But it wasn't because of his conditioning. It was because he was getting frustrated that he couldn't catch Timothy with the punch he wanted. How many times he threw that straight left hand, and Timothy was always here, always low. He missed that left hand like 20 times, and that's his trademark punch. Once you take that away from him, everything else is easy. And I'm telling you, we give the man a rematch. I'll be more than happy to give him a rematch as soon as his feet heal. And believe me, the next time is going to be more decisive. Why? Because Tim already felt this punch, and he already knows what we have to do to beat Manny Pacquiao.